Anyways, welcome back to the
Jackie.
podcast, Bimpe.
Thank you. I need to make sure she's in her crate. I want to make sure she's in her crate so that when you distract me. Jackie? Crate. Good girl. Stay.
That's a moe. They've catch you. This is even calling you. You know how those Nigerian moms call it. Let me see Jackie. There.
This is Jackie.
Hey, sweetie. Oh, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Woof, 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 woof.
She can't hear you because you're in my ears.
Last time we had you on the podcast was when we talked about boundaries, right? And managing. Yes, girl. Remember when I had that VA and we're talking about boundaries in work relationships and knowing when something fits. But it's nice to have you back.
Oh, thank you.
So, yes, everyone, thank you. This is Bimpe, my friend. We've been friends for kind of on counts a long time. And she's based in Minnesota. Hey, girl. I know something amazing happened to you recently. You got a dog.
I did.
I cannot, like, guys, let me just tell you. So, Bimpe and I are part of this prayer group thinking that we do every Thursday. And if we're praying, but every time Bimpe would talk to the dog, like give instruction, if we took a chug of alcohol, our liver would have been fried by then. Bimpe has become that Nigerian mom. Jackie! So how's it been? It's been a month, right? It's been a month.
I mean, it's been a little over a month with Jackie. Yeah, it's been a little over a month. It's been how do I say?
I can't believe you have a dog. Let's just start with that because you're not a dog person. You actually are afraid of dogs.
I'm afraid
you're not the one.
Strange dogs.
Every other dog is strange except Jackie, Abby.
Right.
But Jackie was a strange dog before it became your dog.
No, but funny enough, so Jackie's quite friendly. That's her. That's one of the characteristics of our breed rather. And so she's a mix. No, Labradoodle. And so they're quite friendly. No, she doesn't, but you still have to comb her so she doesn't tangle. And you also have to take her for grooming so she doesn't overheat. Girl. But it's been an amazing experience for me.
About her life.
It's been amazing. I've always loved dogs. It's just
Nigerian dogs, not American dogs. Because American dogs, you have to treat them like kids.
Like kids, yeah. So I've always wanted. Oh heck no!
Thank God.
Thank God. So
I will not
the friend that I got her from trained her.
Tokumbo, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, Tokumbo, what's up?
Stop, Tokumbo.
Yeah. So Tokumbo trained her well. Like she came trained. So this is probably I can't say I've been properly introduced to raising a dog from
because they've done the job for you. You had a ready made. You got a ready made.
Yes. So I'm just building on it. So I guess that's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish. Finish.
No, I said I'm just building on the experience, and so yeah, it's been quite easy, and I just love it. She's made me, I take walks in the mornings and in the evening, so that's been good.
Those are good things.
Part.
I'm not gonna knock on that. So, as you know, I had a dog for like a week, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember writing about that. So somebody put a stinker comment on the post saying, something about your PhD holder, I should have known how to take care of a dog. Because I talked about giving the dog back. And I know those that might be wondering how come Tokumbo gave you the dog. Well, Tokumbo moved out of state and he's in a situation where he's trying to, work remotely and moving from state to state. And, so that's why the dog ended up with for those that might be scrunching up there, because some people don't like the idea of dogs going back to, other people. In my opinion, as long as you're not hitting a dog or punishing it, if you don't think you can't take care of a dog, I'd rather just give it back to somebody than just, I'll kill it, right? Well, girl, all the best to you. My life was either going to be during the pandemic, either going to be a baby or a dog, and we know how that ended.
Thank God.
I'll be loving it from afar, but I am a Nigerian dog person. I'm just not an American dog person. With my schedule and everything, well, they'll just, the bill I'll be getting to be enough to send that child to Harvard. But, but I'm happy about the works, and at least it gives you that extra kick in your day, knowing that at the end of the day, you go pack, now shift to the pack.
I know that, but I don't know if I will ever. I say this all the time. I don't think I will ever get used to packing shit.
You know, my idea of a dog would be a dog that flushes toilets by itself and can wipe itself back. Yeah. That's my ideal kind of dog. You know, shared. I'm never gonna kiss you in the mouth. Ain't gonna happen. And you cannot get on the bed. Does your dog get on your bed? You guys cuddle together? Okay. Do you feed it regular food? Okay, please don't.
Every now and then, you know, just not some things, not everything.
Okay.
She eats broccoli.
So that's an inside joke, because like Bimpe can eat like a whole tree of broccoli. That's one of our favorite things to snack on. That's why I laugh.
So she's been introduced. Initially she didn't like it, but she's grown to like it.
We are just smiling. This is not usual.
But no, seriously though, Jackie does, having Jackie in the house has been quite, it's been a beautiful experience for me.
Just stop.
Let's
stop it here. Let's just stop it here. We can substitute Jackie for a child's name or a boyfriend's name. I'm still going to talk about the same person. And these, my people, are the issues. All right.
Interesting.
You know what? I go back from Nigeria recently, right? And I don't know, there was time I was actually thinking about, what happened? I went around Yaba. Because I was around the area where we met, and I thought about you, like, this is where, I didn't go exactly to that, was it Little Field Street or something? Little Road. You get it. I was like, man, Bimpe. You know what would be nice though? Someday going to Nigeria together with you, and maybe just exploring, like, other parts of that country would be nice with you. But, as far as things that I observed, it was actually less chaotic than I imagined it was going to be. The airport situation, yes. Oh, okay. The airport actually was a bit better. And the reason why it got better, apart from they've done the reconstruction, but still they need to do a good job with, how when you get out of the airport, there should be shuttles to carry you to where you park your car. They don't have that. So you have
God.
Girl, you're hitting about 10,000 steps just to get to the car park.
Yeah, crazy.
But you can always tip those airport workers, like, push your luggage for you. So, but the reason I was saying that the airport got better is actually sadly a bad reason, because a lot of these airlines, like Emirates, they've actually ceased operations in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so their counters were kind of bare. I mean, Air France was, they were doing like some skeletal services, KLM, barely. Delta was like one of the most active for obvious reasons, and it's why they keep monopolizing that route from whatever to Lagos.
Yeah.
So sadly, we didn't have going past immigration, because I've learned the hard way now. Just tip an airport worker to walk you from the moment your bag goes through that extra stuff by the door, and they start siphoning you, and then all of a sudden they said, because I had food stuff, my mom packing fish and whatever, I had to go and do clearance at the Nigerian agriculture, whatever. It's okay. I'm like, for what?
My eyes.
Like, no, I didn't pay Jack. I'm like, no.
Okay, Bao, I don't want
you want to get like certification, and I'm like, for what?
Certification for what? I'm sorry, you're leaving the country.
The agricultural things you're taking away has been certified, whatever. How about
But did you certify it though?
Girl, no. You're just filling a dump form, and they're taking money from you. Girl, Yeah.
But yeah, that's the airport for you.
So I had a rolled up $10 note that I tipped a lot. And I think for me, anytime I go to Nigeria, my heart kind of, I don't know whether this is kind of wrong of me. I kind of feel very heavy in my heart, and it makes me just be thankful about what I have here. And so I'm always in a tipping mood, My Uber driver, so much so that my sister-in-law had to at one point they were almost chastising me for over-tipping one of the people who helped me out at the airport. Because I think about just how much people walk and break their backs, and for what?
But the thing is, I understand where you're coming from, but you also, it's just a lot of people that you're going to have to tip. Yeah.
I know.
For me, I always make sure that I budget. I always have the budget set aside for money to give out.
Yeah.
So, but when that is exhausted, that's it.
You know, one of the best parts, when I'm leaving, those last change on me, man, it stretches a long way. You know, it stretches a long way. Yeah. And so for those that might be traveling, I'll just highly recommend find somebody that works in the airport to help you through all of the processes. And then they have lounges upstairs where you can go hang out for about 20,000 naira, which is like, as I type of this recording, like $20 in Nigeria. Which way? And then you can, the food is there. There's, unlimited food, unlimited drinks, and then good Wi-Fi. And the bathrooms are really good.
That's not bad.
For 20K, yes. And even if your flight is like in an hour's time or 10 hours time, you can stay there for a long time, right?
Oh, that's impressive.
And the service was very impeccable, you know. When I went home last week, which is...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Talking about Nigerian currency, I think this is the shout out. In case you have money, 200... No.
Oh,
January. Yeah, so spend that money. If you have 200 naira notes, I think it's 200, 500,
500 and 1,000. Did you see those videos of people bringing out money?
Mm-mm.
Girl, there's a video circulating that I saw with my eyes like this.
What? The money that
people
were
bringing out. Yes.
What's it, G?
What is malam? Like in Ghana must go all this flaky. You know the moth actually got to some of the.
Yeah, it's just oh my God, these people.
So, anyways, so said that. But again, the inflation needs to stop. At today, it has gone up to $900 and something.
It's 900.
Yes.
I checked Aboki.
No, Aboki FX. No, can't use Aboki anymore. Aboki has been frozen.
No. I have an app. It's called Aboki Forex.
No,
and
Aboki
on there,
FX.
No, it's not PFX. Hold on, let me find it.
No, not Aboki
Forex. No, Aboki Forex.
Okay, they've changed it there. It is an app. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an app, and I'm looking at it right now. The rate is $8.85 to buy and to sell $8.90.
Well, the one I did today was 910.
My God!
But here's the kicker. Oh, sorry, 980. Sorry, this is the pound. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. The pound was 90.
Yeah. Now we're spending pounds, y'all.
Girl, ain't nobody got time for that. Like we're global, okay? Our currency is global.
We're global now.
Yes, sorry, yes. But you know what? It saddens me though. Because the value you're telling me that if I send $100 home tomorrow, the value is going to go up. And my someone
$2,000. It's in millions now.
Can you imagine?
I look, every dollar, I'm quickly sending it home. I mean, it's not favorable to people in Nigeria. It's not. It's working for me.
It's not.
You know?
It's not. And I heard somebody told me this story about how what they plan to do is to make the exchange up to 1,000 naira to $1, and then devalue the currency, make things really hard for the citizens, and then declare a state of emergency so they can, topple the government. Somebody just went down there, but I'm like, guy, what are you smoking this morning?
All these theories.
But in the world, girl, I just read, girl.
It might just be true. There just might be an ounce of truth
but
in there, in that old conspiracy
As
theory.
the dollar is rising, Canadian dollar is not rising.
It's not. It's so stagnant. I don't understand.
490. What's up with this people? And Nigerians are many. Maybe because there are many Nigerians there, the thing is not rising.
Yeah.
So, anyways, on a bit of a sad note, right?
Yeah.
And for those that are just joining us again, welcome. This is my friend Bimpe. If you've listened to any of our episodes, this is just how we just keep talking until we get to where we're supposed to talk about. It's just typical of friends, and especially African friends. I'll preface this by saying that I don't care much about celebrity news. And even when I hear some things about celebrities, I will hardly post about them. And even for this one, I didn't post about it. But I have some friends like Bimpe that I will maybe check in on, and I say, oh, have you heard about this? And usually it's not just to gossip, but it's just to think about lessons we can learn.
Mm-hmm.
And in light of what happened recently, which we're going to talk about in a bit,
mm-hmm.
I think one of the things I have not considered is how much it kind of opens up an area of a soft spot for me personally. Mm-hmm. And I imagine it might be for a couple of listeners as well. So for those that don't know, there's this popular star in Nigeria. His name is Davido, David Adeleke. and he had a son with his girlfriend slash fiancé. We never know what status they are on. If I 3-year-old boy that turned 3 October 20th, because I'm an October baby, and I remember that picture circulating around. Anyways, for reasons unknown, he drowned in the pool in their house, in a house full of nanny, a chef, and some other people who were yet to know their identities. And it wasn't until after 20 minutes after he was gone that they discovered he was gone. And by the time they found him, he was dead. And I don't even know how I'm going to get past talking about this episode without crying. I don't care about celebrities, even though I know they're human beings. But short of listening to their songs, I don't really put so much, relevance in their personal life. I think sometimes we do that as a way to live vicariously through them. And we forget that these people are human beings. And I'm not going to make this a sensational topic. But the reason I brought Bimpe here is just to talk about grief. And how sometimes things that are happening outside of you can also open up your own grief. Because for me, I'm still in grief. I think I'm mostly always going to be in that constant state of grief. I don't know when it's ever going to be resolved. And the reasons why it would be, fertility issues, pregnancy losses, and, even adoption, which is a form of grief on its own, and all of that. But I just wanted to bring Bimpe here to talk about the lessons we can learn and just moving forward. So Bimpe, what were your thoughts when you first heard about that news, and what has been going through your mind since you heard about the news?
It's always devastating when you lose anyone, especially a child. They didn't even get a chance to become anything. So, very sad for him. And I heard that maybe he tore his clothes or something like that, and he ran out, on the streets. And of course, I could just imagine what, I guess they were not home at the time, and then they came in only to find that, their son, is gone. Yeah, so I was just trying to imagine the pain of the parents. And it's just, yeah. And after a while, I think I was numb too. And you know why. I shared that. Yeah. I was just numb from all of that. So I guess I'm still processing. Plus, around that time was also when I learned that a friend of mine, I didn't even realize she was pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was pregnant. She had a baby. I guess we had lost, I didn't even realize we had lost that much touch until I heard that she had an 11-month-old baby who passed. Like, my God. So I guess just all of that, I'm just numb. I think that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm just numb. Yeah, it's again, personal concerns going on as well, and all of that. So it's overwhelming. Yeah. But I'm just really trying to, and I prayed for them, even though I don't know them personally.
Same here.
I prayed for them that the peace of God that passes all understanding flood their hearts. Yeah. It's not easy losing a family member. Oh, how much more?
No, it's very painful. And another thing I was even thinking was well, not like thinking as much as what went through my mind. So I've been traveling for the past 3 weeks, right? And it's the longest I've been away from home since, we had our daughter and all that. And of course, there's one night I leave the country and I got a call that she was sick. And I mean, I had a presentation that it was for work. This was in Paraguay. I had my presentation like in a few hours and my mind was just all over. Because I'm like, what something happens to her? And she usually likes me when she's sick. I mean, her dad, does a good job. She wants mommy. Those were I want mommy. She kept crying, I want mommy. And it broke my heart. And I just imagined these two people, they went out to do his business. I mean, he's a show performer, right? He went out with his girlfriend and they do that almost, and he come back to that, and the guilt. The guilt,
I know,
like if I was
like,
home.
Why didn't we take him? Or why didn't we even take him with
if
us?
I was home,
Sad. I And it was just his birthday, just a few days, before that incident happened. I'm not sure how. I hope that she has people watching over her, that she doesn't, harm herself. You can just imagine the...
God.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's sad. It's sad. And I don't know how you can... you know what? I hate to say this. I feel like sometimes when we suffer through something, like, you will never forget. The pain might never go away. Mm-hmm. But what might make it better is just finding meaning in it. And I think it's something that they have to find for themselves. We cannot tell them about that. No. Right? And so I'm not even going to address their issue, because the meaning, they have to be the ones to come up with that meaning from that tragedy. But I'm going to just focus on my own self and what helped me find meaning. And I think it's just finding people who have gone through the same thing, or who are just entering the same situation, and encouraging them. And I don't like to you recently, Bimpe, I've just been feeling like, almost like this veteran, like, I'm done talking about my fertility issues. Like, it hasn't been resolved yet, and I don't want to be someone that is like the oldest person in class, and every student that comes in from every new student, that old student, go talk to them, they'll walk you through. I'm tired of sitting in that classroom, is what I'm telling God, like, just get me out of here, So I've reached that point of saturation where I'm not even very open. Not like I'm closed-minded about it, but I'm just tired of saying it over and over again. You know what I mean? And I know
it just sounds like a scratched on
it's
CD.
Exactly like almost like, I think with the grace of God, I don't feel that shame like I used to feel about it before.
That's good.
It's just now I'm very selective about the audience I talk to. If I think somebody needs to say anything and it's me, then yes. But I'm like, there are other voices as well they can listen to. It doesn't necessarily have to come from me. Yeah. But I know, so let's talk about people that might be going through this. Perhaps the death of this young boy probably stirred up something in you about your own, loss or your almost loss. And I know when you lose a child like that, sometimes you feel like people avoid you.
Yeah, because sometimes people don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say. It's not you, by the way. It's people might say some things that might rub you the wrong way.
Yeah.
Whether intentionally or not, it's not you. Yeah. It's just, we don't have, the situation is so heavy. There's almost no way to kind of come around it. And so I hope that you're finding ways to surround yourself with people who might lift you up. Because, man, sometimes this thing just overwhelms you.
It does. And I just know that, there's going to be days and there'll be bad days. Days when, your days, unfolding nicely. The sun is shining. Everything is bright as it should be. And then suddenly this emotions just washes over you and then you break down. So
it's always a good time.
And
always a good time.
And it's
always,
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be in that state too.
Yeah.
And it's okay to seek help. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Finish that. I think you should say that. That's very important.
Yeah. It's okay to seek help. I think that, and people try to put, a cap. Like, it's been 2 months. It's been 1 year. Look, there's no time for grief. Yeah. Take as much time as you need to heal.
Yep.
I don't know if it ever, goes away. I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go away. And I think, I wanted to say something, but let me just quickly share one thing that came out yesterday. So I don't know if you know this girl, Nightbird.
I saw this. You shared it.
Yes.
On the
yes.
Yeah.
She died of cancer. That girl died of cancer, and she had a book that they hadn't published. So her team came up.
Justin's sister.
Yes, that girl. She's
that's Justin's sister. I know she died of cancer.
Which Justin?
Oh, maybe not. Okay, never
mind.
Not
Justin. No. I don't know the Justin you're talking about.
Okay, never mind.
So in her book, Nightbird, Jane Masowski, I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
Oh, no, that's
She
not
said, no, when grief comes knocking, answer the door. Let her in. Let her tell you all that was lost. Let her remind you how marvelous it was. Let her paint your memories in slow motion. Let her sing your story with a cello. Let her teach you gratefulness and how to pay attention. Do not turn her away at the door. If you do, she will come back again knocking. Let her speak her peace. Let her do her work, cleansing you of your tears. then send her on her way. Then you can sleep through the night without waking from her tapping. And this is an excerpt from her unreleased poem called When Grief Comes Knocking. And I think it perfectly describes it. Yeah, we get it that it's uncomfortable for you when people lose, but please don't try to hurry people up.
Yeah.
And can we just, all these thoughtless words and cliches like, oh, at least you have another baby. At least you can make another baby. Heaven needed another angel. Which heaven is in another angel? Please.
Heaven gained
another angel. Like, please do.
I think they're oversaturated over there.
And it's the Christians, it's the well-meaning,
Lord forgive me,
well-meaning Christians that do that sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, the Lord knows best. What else do people say when you don't have a clue what to say? I better now than later.
Yes,
people say that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Listen to a 3-year-old and a 16-year-old. I mean, it's to be the same devastating news.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, if you don't know what to say, just sit there and be quiet.
Just keep quiet.
Your presence is just or just say hello. How are you doing today? Just if you can't be with them physically, then don't use meaningless words.
Don't be like Job's friends. Yeah. Even if it's just to help them do grocery shopping.
And they're accusing them. But where were you? Why would you two live? It does not help. It's spilled milk. Stop it.
May we never. Those are even blaming the parents. May we never be in a situation. Number one, these people they are celebrities, so it's not okay that their lives are out there like that.
Yeah,
they're
not even grieving in private.
No,
everybody's in their business, and everyone is posting videos of this little boy.
And that's hard.
Like, really?
Even the person who broke the news was a family member, was a family friend. Imagine. Somebody close to them.
No privacy.
Was a family friend.
No respect for their privacy.
Twice now I've had a moment where my heart was out of my mouth. So this was maybe like 2 months ago. Arifa and I kind of scolded her. And I told her, just get away. Almost like, just leave my sight. And she walked out, Bimpe. She normally wouldn't do this because we've already told her. And her dad is very, very, has told her many times. She needs an adult because we have a lake in front of our property.
Yeah,
Bimpe,
I remember. Even though you do have a fence though, like
we have a fence. And we have security cameras and all that. But for whatever reason, I didn't hear anything. This girl went outside and then she sat in a hammock. We have a hammock, in between the trees there. Bimpe, I thought this girl went into the river, into the lake.
I'm not laughing.
Like, Bimpe, like,
you're like, oh my God.
My life flashed in front of me. I'm like, whatever I was angry about is no more existent.
Right, it's not important.
The moment I saw her, I didn't even scold her. I just cupped her in my hand, in my arms, and I hugged her. And I'm like, thank you for staying alive. I mean, she was looking at me like, what's this crazy lady? We just had a fight. But that was a near-death experience for me. Even today, Gong, we had an international festival for students that we volunteer with. And it was a crowded place. And, post-COVID, I'm still trying to, and being a new mom, I'm still trying to manage. She's 3. She's always active, wants to move around.
Yeah.
And in a blink of an eye, I didn't see my daughter.
Gone. Gone.
I started thinking about milk cartons and, 911 calls. And as a true crime person, I'm like, maybe one freaky person.
Yeah.
I started looking for a white baby. A white baby in a forecourt. By the time I saw her, I just gave her, I said, Arifa, you can never leave mommy again. And she said, okay. And that was it. But
I think you should buy we have it in my store. Shout out to Beam Skitties. We have the
Delish.
Yeah.
Girl,
if you're gonna be thinking about it, like that. No, I'm serious.
Girl, I ain't joking.
I'm serious.
In fact,
and the cord
I ain't
is
joking.
really long. Yeah.
I ain't joking.
Seriously though, if you're in crowded places, just do that. So that way she can only go so far. Girl. And hopefully there's no mad person around who is hunting for little girls.
My heart was in my mouth. So let's just pray we don't get to that position where our weaknesses are exposed,
Yeah.
Because these things do happen. You'll be surprised. You know how this drowning incident, do you know the statistics on that?
It's not, and it's so great. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you have a child in the house, now is not the time to say, this is what you should have done, this is what you shouldn't have done. I don't know. That pool should not have been exposed. The same thing happened to this guy,
the band.
The band, yeah.
Yes. Yes, in the US
because
alone.
kids will always be kids.
They like water.
They're very
US
curious.
Alone, 700 people die every year from unintentional drowning. And nearly 900 of these people are children that are less than 19.
See, but you can say because you can swim. Girl, I took a class in college.
Even with swimming.
I don't know.
So that's why...
No,
like
but kids, I feel like you should introduce kids early.
Early enough.
I think white people start at when they're 6 months.
Like 6 months, but I know even with Ifeanyi, this boy, I saw a video of Davido teaching him how to swim. So maybe they hadn't got into that. Like my daughter, when she was like 1.5, the first time she saw a pool, she had to jump inside. I'm like, Kilon
Madam, come down.
That very summer, we just enrolled her in swimming class.
Yes, absolutely.
So she can learn how to hold her breath.
At least float.
Just
floating. Yeah. She doesn't even need to hold her breath. She just needs to learn how to flip backward.
Back up. And do that.
And float. And float till someone finds you. Yeah.
Yep. And then she's even so good. She's diving in water by herself. And she's learning how to hold her breath.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up with water. It was just recently that I overcame it. Girl, but I told you I had to take like 8 classes for me to learn how to
I took a whole semester.
Girl.
Of
the
swimming
last class I took, the guy was like,
C.
Don't come back here again, that you already know how to swim.
Yeah.
Because it was just I was always scared at the end. So for those that have pools in their house, safety issues would be, if you can afford a pool, just put security cameras around your house.
It's not even bad. Just cover over it.
But hold on. But when the child is about leaving, you can get that alert on your phone. And they cover
yeah. I see what you mean. Yes.
Barricade the pool.
Yes.
Barricade the pool. I'm not trying to blame these people. We're just
we're not.
We're tossing. But nothing beats safety
measure. Yeah.
Because it might not be the pool in your house. You don't have control over the pool in your neighbor's house.
No.
So you have to equip your child enough to know how to be safe.
So if you're not going to barricade it, then that child should at least know how to float. But I'm so like,
it's painful.
It's painful. I think that's his only male child.
I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories that are floating around, but I don't want to dwell on that.
No,
because
at this point, no.
No, it's not fruitful. It's quite reductive.
Milk. Yeah, yes. It's spilled milk.
Yes. Another bad incident also happened, which was last week too in Korea. Itaewon.
Oh, that one, Cholani. Oh my God,
girl.
150 what people?
56. And some people are still missing
in one night. See, and you said that there's a parent that lost two kids in one night, like Job.
Yep.
And for an event, that's why for me, crowded events, I do not attend those kind of events. Not because I feel like I'm going to be trampled. I don't know that you're in a vulnerable position. But I've tried to imagine. I've watched a few videos on YouTube. Like, how did 156 people die?
Okay, here's why. Let me. So preface it. So Korea, historically, we won't call them a Christian nation. Well, they were Buddhist. I mean, they practiced what you call animism. Their forefathers, but it was recently when Christianity was introduced, right? And we know Halloween is an intersection between Christianity and paganism. Let's call it that.
Let's call it what it is.
The older generation haven't embraced it, but you're finding Halloween becoming more prominent with younger people. So most people that died there were people in their teens and their 20s, right? Now, Itaewon is a multicultural commercial area located in Seoul. As a matter of fact, there was a popular stabbing that happened many years ago, and one popular actor did a movie about it, and it's also
someone was stabbed.
Yeah, and probably sometime is it more in 1997?
Oh, okay.
Right. And a Korean person was stabbed to death by somebody, and allegedly there were 2 people that were the main suspect. An American who was born to an American father, South Korean mother, was the main suspect, and then another Korean. But they still don't know who, did it,
But there are cameras everywhere in that country.
No, this was before cameras became a thing.
1997.
1997. Let's move to this. So Itaewon is quite popular. It's a popular hub in Korea. As a matter of fact, there's a movie, a series.
I've seen it. I've seen that one.
Yes. There's a series, Itaewon Class, which was 2020. And, that's also, a part of that, kind of just showing the diversity of Itaewon, like what you see in those series, like, the hub and the people. Park Seo-joon was there and Kim Dami. Now, a lot of expats are there as well, cause with, when tourists go, it's a tourist hub, like I said. They have a gay club there to kind of show you just how really happening it is. And international restaurants are along that street. It's it's in, I think Gyeongnidan Street, right? And then they're quite open to so many foreigners. A lot of parts of Korea, as a foreigner, you may not be able to go or maybe enjoy it, but not Itaewon. Now Itaewon Street, because remember Korea is still historically they have a deep history. They never really widened the country as it were. If you think about how North Korea and South Korea were annexed, right? North Korea has all the space. North Korea is actually bigger geographically than South Korea. So South Korea is they don't have a lot of space, right? And these streets are land space, that is. These streets are from way back then. They just made it modern by building houses.
So narrow.
So they are narrow. They're talking about 13 feet. Meanwhile, an average street in the US is about 20 feet. So, and because of Itaewon being the way it is, sometimes there could be celebrity sightings. So what had happened was, there were two things that said because the whole break-in. One was, somebody said they saw a celebrity. And meanwhile, Korea is quite hilly. One of the things you can do when you go to Korea is to hike. There's so many mountains you can hike. It's quite hilly and sloping. So they sighted a celebrity. And another rumor was that somebody was handing out candy that was laced with drug.
Oh my God.
Right. And the country, we just came back from COVID. This is the first time they were coming back in person. Because last year, because of remember, Korea had a very strict COVID,
absolutely.
With on-time tracking and all that. So this is like all of the celebration, plus with Squid Game and all these notoriety,
popularity. Koreans, I think they have a thing for stars.
Exactly, for their stars, because their stars bear their image. Like, if I think of an average Korean pop star, like, say, for example, BTS, they carry Korea everywhere they go. Beyonce, I don't see her as a US, proud citizen of US. She might be proud of the US. I'm not saying that, but her brand is not tied to the country. An average Korean star carries Korea with them. Is how they're different. So it's like, this is how they, spread their soft power, right? Now, this year's annual Halloween had more people than 10 times more.
100,000 people.
100,000 people.
Yeah.
And
in that tiny space.
And then the people on top started falling down on those at the bottom.
Oh my God.
And when I saw the video of some people being crossed, Bimpe is the worst thing that can happen to you. Like almost like your organs are being squeezed. But they said if you're ever in a situation, just try to bend down and cover your head and roll yourself up. But I don't know how you can do that in the sea of people. And it was so bad, even emergency workers couldn't go past.
No.
They couldn't, ambulance couldn't go.
Because there were that many.
There were that many people.
Yeah.
There were that many people. And it also brought about another incident. This is actually the second worst disaster in the country since the 2014 ferry disaster that claimed 306 lives. So 299 people died, and half of those people were students from a high school. That one was even worse because these students, they brought them from Incheon, which is like where the airport is, Seoul Airport, and they're supposed to go on a day trip to Jeju Island. Jeju Island, for those that don't know, is like the Hawaii of Korea, right? And they were very excited, 100 and something of them. And before you knew it, they slept overnight because, I think they slept and then they woke up. And according to one of the people who survived, she was having a meal with her friend and she noticed that the plate was kind of tilting. And she thought it was just the waves. Before you knew it, something came up on the intercom. The captain was saying they should wait. everybody should stay in their rooms. Nobody should come out. Especially, actually called out the names of the students and said, students from this high school, just stay put. We'll come and rescue you. Not too long after that, the captain left, abandoned the ship. He escaped. And what saved people that got saved was because, they were able to use their boxes to climb out of it because the one that started entering. And that was even worse because in the middle of the sea. Yeah. Right?
At night.
No, it was actually during the day. But still, in the middle of the sea, before they could bring the rescue workers and all that, people had drowned. Yeah. 306 lives lost.
Wow. Oh, even more than this, Itaewon.
One life is bad enough, right?
I mean. Yeah.
So April 16, 2014 is the date most Koreans will never forget.
Wow.
And with this Halloween now, it has turned the country into the mourning. The current president, who, I'm telling you, the current president who they were on the street some days ago to try to impeach, because, they think he's so anti-feminist and whatever, but that's a story for another day. He's declared a state of mourning and trying to investigate what really went wrong. But I see this affecting how Korea responds to Halloween. Because remember, this isn't part of their culture. They might shut it down. It's just not safe. Yeah. It's just not safe, so.
Especially for how frantic they get when they see celebrities. It's just crazy. Like their level of idol worshipping, but I don't mean juju. I mean like idols.
Idols. Yeah.
They worship their
because they come with their image. That's why Koreans K-pop stars are different from them Beyonce and Rihanna. Those are their own brands, right?
It's just they're fanatics. It can be. Maybe I know you love. I know you love them.
No, but I'm not crazy. But I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about. I'm not like fan crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not fanatic. I mean, fan crazy is what is a term.
No, girl,
no. Yeah.
No.
It's just crazy. Yeah. It's sad. It's really sad.
It is.
156 people, and then before that was 300 and how many again?
299 people that were on the ferry. There were two people from the boat, and then 2 divers died.
Oh, trying to save them.
Emergency workers. Yes. And this, let's even talking about how these Korean stars are being trained. They're groomed at and I use that word very carefully because that industry as a whole, there's a whole thing going on there, which you cannot get to today, but they are groomed as kids. They're trained very well. They can be in studio for 20 hours,
Crazy.
And it takes an average of 10 years for them to finally have their debut, right? And so.
Really?
Oh, yes. And their lives are owned by their management.
Producers,
they determine how much they weigh. For the girls especially, you might have to undergo plastic surgery to enhance some part of you. Your dating life, forget about it.
And that's the thing about Koreans that I've heard. It's they're quite particular about their physical appearance.
Yes.
It's a thing. Yeah. Yes. So I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So and for you to be a K-pop star, almost like think of it like Squid Game. Remember how that guy won that 456 million? That's how it feels like.
Wow.
Because for you to even be picked, and for parents, it's a thing of pride for them. But imagine that they take your child away from you and they put them in a hostel with other boys or girls, and that's it.
It's like that. I mean,
that's it.
They get the fame, they get the money.
But to what cost, though?
But at what cost, yeah.
At what cost, right?
Yeah.
At what cost? And it's why the consumption of it, I enjoy some of the songs, but it also makes me think about, what the cost of that, right? Because if there's no demand, there won't be supply.
Yeah.
Right? So we are equally part of the problem. But if you know what's really going on in K-pop, or even all those industry, you probably don't want to even listen to any of the songs.
Yeah, anymore. I'm not a fan.
They've been confirmed cases of abuse. Yeah, there's a group called Eastlight. I like them. Okay. These were young boys.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this song that they sang, Are You Okay? They found out that their manager was actually beating them.
How old are these boys?
This were like 16 or 17, thereabout, yeah.
Wow. And then because of the honorific thing that they do,
of course,
the respect for adults.
And these people don't earn a lot of money because most of the money goes to their management. Oh, girl, no. Once you're out of your contract, then you can stack up. They don't earn a lot of money, except if you're smart. Like, Jiyoung of what's his name? Big Bang. He has a restaurant, he does fashion, except you venture like that. Because in your contract, your labor owns you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's child labor. Let's just call it that.
That's another conversation for another day. Yes, it's a whole kind of warm to open.
Girl.
Yeah.
It's like watching this documentary on Netflix. I forget the name. It talked about chocolates, avocado. By the time they talked about everything that was going on, you don't even want to eat anything. Or wear anything. You just be naked.
You'd be like,
because everything has
what else? What can I do?
Even this Samsung phone that I'm proud of is at the cost.
Yeah.
So the East Side people, they were 13, 14, and 16 when they debuted, right? And their producer, who was the Media Line Entertainment, were the ones that punished and attacked them, and they suffered a lot of injuries internally, even bruises on their buttocks and all that. So yeah, it was child abuse because these are underage kids, and it begs the question: what are parents doing? But again,
even here in the US,
girl,
because again, parents, like you said, it's a thing that people look forward to. It's a thing that they feel like they've won a jackpot.
It's a jackpot.
So it's a two-way street. So the fault is really not entirely on the producers or the management team. It's a two-way street.
It scares me.
Yeah.
It scares me. Like even having a daughter like mine now, I've had people comment, "Oh, she could be a model." I'm like, no. No. She will model for Jesus wherever she is. Because these industries that get to pray, like only very few actually make it out alive. Only very few make it out alive.
And if you're not conscious of the parents, you'll find that it's either there's a family member managing them.
Yes. Or you quit your job.
And just focus on your child. Yeah.
Focus on them. But I'm not quitting my job anytime.
Look at what's her name? Kiki Palmer.
Kiki? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or even Usher. His mother manages him.
Yep.
That's otherwise they're gonna take advantage
even
of the child.
Kanye West.
Yes, his mother
was a professor. And
she
died, until she was sacrificed. Yeah, sorry.
Is that what this?
Go on. Did not hear that part. Even the sacrifice of praise.
Oh my God,
girl! Oh my God!
It's a whole kind of warm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, grief is tough, and then it's not even only when a life is lost that you grieve. It could be a lost opportunity. I remember. So this is it's a personal story. You know about this story too. Wanted this opportunity for a long time. And finally got it. The way I got it, it was to me, it was kind of miraculous, right? And then I'm happy to get this opportunity going. And, then I start, and then I find that I couldn't continue with this opportunity. And it was devastating. I didn't realize that I was grieving. Like for 2 months, I would function, go to work, I come back home, I was a wreck, and I would just cry and just the lost opportunity. So it's not only when you lose a life that you grieve. It could be anything really, something important to you. Important. Yeah. And sometimes it will not make sense to people, and people will tell you, "Oh, get over it. Like it's time already now. You should know. Life goes on." No,
don't do that. It's not your grief.
Yeah, it's not yours.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Lady Bird thing.
Nightbird. Okay. Lady Bird is be what's the name? Sesame Street or something like that.
Mm-hmm. You should own it. I think once you realize what it is, I think for most part people are just in denial. There are stages to grief anyway. It's part of a stage to grief where you're in denial, and then you start to bargain, and then how many stages are there for grief?
There's 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So you deny, you bargain, and then what else do you do?
So
then you accept.
No, so first is deny, anger.
Anger, yes.
Dabda, I remember Dabda. Deny, anger, bargain, depression, and acceptance. And sometimes those things are not
stages. And it was not in order. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was just so mad.
Anger, and then you come back to denial again.
Right.
It's not linear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I went through all of that, and I eventually, accepted, and then the cloud lifted 2 months after. 2 months.
But I was thinking about something today, that grief is something that's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Either will be the source of grief to somebody, or grief will happen to us directly by losing something. So it's part of the, human experience, right?
Mm.
And I think knowing that it's now part of the human experience, let's be very kind in the way we say the words we use to, talk to people. I understand it, right? That you don't, some things are not comfortable to explore together, especially if you haven't lived through it. Mm-hmm. But silence is also good, Silence is good. Silence is very, very good.
To say? Yeah. Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Just be mute. Be there. Yeah. Pat them. Give them, if you live around them, then stop by, give them food or something, because whatever they're dealing with, they're probably not thinking about nutrition. They're not thinking about anything that would keep them going. So be there. Clean their house for them. Just maintain things until they're able to. Oh, Cholani, did you see this movie on? It's not a movie. It's a show on Netflix.
Which one?
From Scratch.
Yes.
Girl,
I cried.
I don't know how to explain it.
I miss Zoe
Saldana. What I'm doing now. I was like, it was
especially when you had cancer, when you have felt
so unfair. Anyway, we don't want to.
At this stage, we haven't watched it. They're gonna ruin it. You got it coming. I ain't protecting you from Jack. You haven't watched it. You had it coming.
But it's the reality of life, though. It's just the reality of life.
You're right. And I know for me, the most unfair thing when I was grieving was just how the world kept moving on.
That's what happened.
Birds were still chirping. The sky was still blue. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just stop and acknowledge this pain. Yeah. And that's how you might feel like for some people listening to this right now. Mm-hmm. Like everybody around you seems to be good. Yes. Why is it so heavy on me? Yeah. Guess what? Yeah. The only thing that can reduce your grief is grieving,
Bill, just stay there and just go through it.
And just do it. The passage of time, it will reduce those acuteness, of the acuteness of the pain. You have to walk through it.
The grief that he has over you. Yeah. And that thing that you just said about, others moving on. I remember with this opportunity that I mentioned a few moments ago, immediately I had to let go of that opportunity for personal reasons. I was immediately taken out of the group chat. Immediately, with alacrity. And, almost like, and then they don't call, they don't check in. So I said, you know what, let me do the checking in because I know they're busy. After a while, I just stopped. At some point, you have to let some things go. And the source of the grief, you have to let it go. And then
seek help. Seek help. Seek help. Anyways, girl, we've talked a lot about so many things,
we have.
We've talked about the trip to Nigeria and then the currency, the loss of that baby, learning from that and how to find meaning. And we are not the ones to give them that meaning. It's why we didn't talk about what exactly could have happened or what they could have done better. No, it's not good.
And we did give tips on,
for general people.
Safeguard. Yeah, for general people.
For general people, not for these people. Because we don't know their situation. And I don't want to keep doing what every blogger is doing out there, speculating. May we not be in a situation.
Why didn't they barricade it? Really?
Don't. Just stop. Just stop.
Stop already.
Please, just stop already. Please. Just stop already. May we never be in a situation where your one moment of weakness becomes the major news. And this is why I was very vulnerable to talk about. 2 times I felt like Arife was going to go away and my heart was out of my chest.
I can imagine.
Imagine what will happen.
And then
imagine that the last...
Your fence, you might need to do something about your fence though.
Oh no, she's, what will I put in now? The door, don't worry, I don't want to talk about security tips, but it's well armed.
Okay.
Girl, yes, it's well armed. Okay. And she's at that age now. That's why we had to go and reload her in that swimming stuff. So that, anything happens, she's able to, help herself out.
Until
because
someone,
you can never, see, I think being as a parent, you have that constant dread. And I spoke to a parent today, her kids are like in their 30s. She's an elderly friend of mine. And she said that feeling never goes away. The moment you're a mom, almost like this dread comes with you. Because before, all I worried about was myself. And guys, I was good at taking care of myself for the most part of it. But now it's not just you anymore. It's this child.
It's this little one.
This is a child. And you cannot keep them safe all the time. Except you want to become a helicopter mom. Which
even at that, you still
them.
Cannot.
It would destroy them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's just be thankful that I think even that lesson about sins, like when somebody commits a sin and a celebrity, maybe pastor does something and everybody's out there. How about your own secret sin? Because you're not a celebrity that is not out there. It's the same concept. Let's
talk
apply
about
grace.
it. We don't have time.
Apply grace.
Yeah.
Let's apply grace. And
also, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Finish. No, you're my guest. Honey. Go for it.
Okay. So, and I know we've talked about, you had a loss recently. Indirect, well, direct.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, that one, yeah. Keep forgetting about that one, yeah. So that one is kind of weird. I don't even know if I'll talk about it now. Girl, what you doing to me? Why? No, for real. Okay, you're gonna have them. They're gonna cancel me last. That's your plan. So the reason
I can talk about my own dad passing.
Maybe talking about that because for me it's not. I also want to honor him. I mean, by him I mean my spouse because it's both direct and indirect for me.
Yeah.
Direct because I saw this person that I love go through this pain of losing their father, right? And indirect because it's an in-law, but then it's still a father, right? And having to adjust I don't know how to say it. It was like a performance. By forever, I don't mean it was
fake. Emotion, yeah.
Yes. It's like, I just kept focusing on my spouse.
The next, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What can almost like every step he takes, I want to match and be at pace with him. And that's all I did because I didn't know how to react really. But of course I was sad. I was so sad about it. Because I love this person. I mean, my father-in-law died, by the way. Well, that was why I went to Nigeria. I love this person. Because, a lot of his traits my husband has, and they're good traits that I'm benefiting from. Heck, that my even daughter is even benefiting from. So I've always honored that process. And knowing that now there's only one parent that is left, and just the fear, because as someone living away from home, you always dread that phone call. That something bad has happened to your loved one. But how was it like for you? Because I know you lost your dad in 2014, right? Or 2015?
No, 2015.
2015. I remember that time.
Yeah. So,
it was the end of the year, right?
It was, actually it was 2014. He was involved in that vehicular accident and he survived it. And we thought it was fine. But I don't know, it was kind of like I was prepared for it. But 2 weeks after that incident, and I got the phone call. I mean, I kind of was expecting it, but it still came as a shock. And mind you, this is a father who I didn't grow.
You're not very close to.
Yeah, I wasn't close to. We eventually had a relationship, but it was not the ideal father-daughter relationship. We were like friends.
Something. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
girl,
it was beautiful. It was a beautiful. It was just not a typical father-daughter relationship. And then I had a very deep sense of loss. Let me tell you what someone said. Someone who I respect very much. You know what he said to me?
What?
As I asked him, I said, my father died and I didn't hear anything from you guys. And that's That was really not unusual. That was really bad. That was how I said it. And I was like, I went straight to it. You know me.
You're Pacific.
So, I was very Pacific. And you know what he said?
What did he say?
He said, but he was not a good father. And then this is an adult, like an uncle who has worked in teenage ministry, who knows better. That's what he told me. He said, yeah, your father was not a good father. So I said, but he was still my father. That was my response. Come on now.
So I'm the one telling you. I'm the one telling you about it. There are two truths, yes.
Yeah, and then people think that just because but your father was not in your life, that I felt torn. Like, am I supposed to grieve him, like a proper father? I was torn. I felt torn in during that time, because all around me, because people knew my situation, they knew my story, and they didn't think I had a right to mourn him. He was my father. He was. You don't, and that's the thing. You don't speak on other people's relationship,
especially because you didn't bring. That wasn't what you brought in front of him. Yeah. And the only reason he knows that fact is because you shared it with him. But
that privilege.
My father passed away. That's just it. Yeah. Can you just help me with that right now and just say something or console me or just that's all I'm needing from you right now.
You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't mourn him. You shouldn't be sad. So I think that intensified my sadness, because I felt sorry for the man that he was, because he again, another story for another time. So all of that just came washing over me. Then I my own guilt.
Would you ever want to talk about? I was going to ask about your guilt 1 second, but would you ever want to come talk about your dad someday?
Yeah, sure. Okay. If you can help anyone, sure, why not?
But okay, it's my story. Let's talk about that guilt, because I won't lie to you. I think because of the time, let me just say it this way. Myself, my father, people that have been following this podcast since 2018, I used to have daddy issues. Maybe I still have some form of it. And because I didn't grow up with a close relationship with my dad. But kind of like being placed that we're in a very, very good place now. Except mine is still alive, thank Jesus. Sorry, no offense to you, Bimpe.
I'm not taken.
I'm horrible. But we're friends. I don't see us as father-daughter relationship. As a matter of fact, I saw him. He came for the burial, Taiwo's dad's burial. We just chatted, and I just almost like a senior friend. And I love our relationship now, because I can see past who he is, and I still honor him as my father. By the way. But I still hold some guilt in the sense that we don't really have that close relationship. But it's just what it is. This is better than what we had before,
it is what it
right?
Is. Yeah.
But and again, being so far away from home, you're not doing life. Your daughter is not even getting to enjoy the privileges of having grandparents. And this is one of the things I actually very, very sad for Arife, because she'll never get to know what grandpa was like. Right? Now,
he's not dead, girl. You're talking about him.
No, I'm talking about Taiwo's dad. Okay. Yes. Oh, girl. Come back to the light. Light side. She'll never get to know what Taiwo's very clear. Hold up.
Wait a minute.
She'll never get to know what Taiwo's dad was like.
Right? Be
Being Pacific about that. But now what she's left with is scraps of stories and, and of course the way her dad would parent her, and other stories she'll hear from anecdotes from other family members.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your guilt. How long before your father passing away did you guys reconcile, and how did you manage that guilt post, his death and all that?
So for me, again, that's why I'll be eternally grateful to God for a solid foundation ministry. I'm eternally grateful for that ministry, and especially for my platoon leaders at the time. Sister Mayowa, shout out to you. And late Sister Yemisi. Every time I say her name, the grief, it just washes over me.
What happened to her?
I miss her. She died. Yeah, I miss her so much. Cancer.
Wait.
Yemisi died. She came to the US with a baby. I can't remember. She had this Doe last name. I can't remember. Anyway, so went to camp the year I turned 18, and it was while on camp that Samaiwa was the monitor in charge of the clinic that day, and then she taught herself and Mrs. Shode time, and they shared their own experience. And, at the time I had felt like maybe my own case was a bit different. I'm quite protective of my family.
Yeah.
So going to camp and then seeing people who were in similar situations like I was, and so I felt liberated by that. And then one of the things, I needed extra counseling because I was so mad at my dad, and especially because shortly before that camp, I just lost my grandma. So I came to camp.
And this is your dad's mom, right?
Death. My father's mother.
Are you guys close?
Over there. We were very close. I learned how to braid from my grandmother. I hated her for a while, but
was she accepting of you?
Not initially. And again, that's another story.
For another Girl, let's do an episode on that one.
Yeah, well, sure. So, anyway, and I went to camp. Here I was grieving my grandmother, who was very special to me, mad because of how events unfolded, reminded again of the status that we have in my father's family. And it was just all of these things were just washing over me. And I went to camp hurt, angry, mad. I was disoriented. My mother was not around. And so I felt defenseless, and so it was, so Samira just said one thing to me. She said one of the scriptures in the Bible that comes with a blessing is to honor your father and your mother. And I said, but he does not deserve it. It says, that doesn't matter, because guess what? Forgiveness is actually more for your benefit.
It's not for you. It's not for you.
Yeah, it's more for you than the other person. So that's, a statement, at that time changed my life. And I prayed and asked God to really help me. So from then on, that was when my attitude changed, because I could not stand my father. I was quite rude to my father.
For good reasons, though. For good reasons. Which you can talk about, yeah. And I think that's where the lesson is, that justified reaction to our parents when they do something really wrong. But then don't let that be the only thing you hang over your head, because it's still breaking some form of sacred law. This applies if you're a Christian. If you're not, you can tune off at this part, because you are in the target audience for this kind of conversation. Because I saw a video circulating on Instagram this week about some girls who confronted their father for cheating on their mom. Did you see that video? They came receipts. I could feel their pain. They read all the nasty things the father was saying to the girlfriend, and one of the daughter was like, "Daddy, I'm so disappointed in you. You're not a father to me anymore." I get it, but you don't have to bring that to the social media. But guess what?
We went through all of that too, even with my cousins too. So maybe there was social media at the time. Who knows?
I know. And I think let's also be very careful how you put your stuff on there.
Yeah.
Because when everything, almost like triangulation, you guys mend your fences, but guess what? The internet never forgets.
It does not. It lives forever, even after you're gone. We can Google you. What's your last name, girl?
Never forget.
You don't even need any extra skill.
Yes, internet never forgets. So let's be very careful how we do that. But I would love to hear more about your dad, especially because I think your story and mine, there's some similarities there. But I think just because people are in that situation and they've grown into adults that are still carrying that pain,
that burden, the pain.
Yes, I think you're fine. No, honey, you can't be fine.
And the guilt of it. Yeah,
honey, you cannot be fine.
Because for me, I could not. The guilt I talked about earlier, what I felt when my dad died. So it was just, I guess I should have gone for therapy, to go see a therapist or something, but I did not. The guilt I felt at the time was because I was in the process, or I was considering filing for my father. And I kept telling myself.
By filing, she meant bringing him over to
the US.
US, yeah.
Yeah, because my mom was already here at the time. And I'd filed for my mom too, and I just couldn't see it. I was like, there's no way. Going to bring it to my house, you guys will be doing something together. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen under my roof.
But hey, something happened, that's why you came here. Your birthday is a constant reminder that something happened.
Girl, you will not do it.
September 1. Okay, something happened sometime in January. Freaky.
So that was primarily what it was. I kept thinking, where am I going to put him? I didn't have the money to rent another apartment. You know, like, first of all, even
was he married to somebody else then, or he was single?
No, his wife had passed.
Do you think your mom and your dad then would still have some flames going on?
I don't know, and I didn't want to find out. I didn't know at the time. I didn't want to find out. I was like, no, this is not this horror movie. I'm not about to leave it. You know, so and so because of that, I delayed. I kept, discussing with my mom. What are we going to do? I want to file for him and all that.
So that's a source of a regret. I can imagine.
Yes.
I can imagine.
And and I kept asking myself, could I have done more? And that's the thing. You can't really. What if he came here and he was involved in that same accident? You know, it's just, And
you did the best you could do then.
Yes. Yeah. I did the best I could with what, I had. But there's no guarantee that even if he was here, he wouldn't have died. And that's one of the things I had to learn, even, with an aging... Hey, Ari. She just did it. Ari, baby. Ari.
Say hi.
How are you?
What? You say hi? Hi. No, the chewing gum is not there. It's kept away from you. No chewing gum. No chewing gum. I want to say hi. Hi.
No, you have to say it properly. No, you won't say hi. You have to say hello.
Say hello. Say hello.
Annyeonghaseyo.
You sleep well? This is my friend.
She's so beautiful. I love her eyes.
She say you're beautiful. Say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
Go grab a snack? You want to go grab a snack? Mommy's about finished, okay? You want to go bring a snack?
No.
What does she want? She wants gum.
She wants gum. I don't know what to have to chew gum. And she's going to take like 3 in her mouth. Yeah, I should bring you back to come talk about your dad. Really bring you guys back to come talk about your dad. But this was fun. Not like fun. It's fun to chat with you. You know what I mean? Even though we talked about some really heavy topics. Thank you for
honoring the invitation.
Thank you for honoring the invitation. Yes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Mommy's recording, okay? Mommy's doing recording.
No.
Yeah, so thanks for honoring the invitation.
So I have to go and feed Jackie anyway, so...
I'm done. Just doing the whatever. Okay. So this was fun. Thanks so much for honoring the invitation.
Yeah,
and we'll bring you right back. Yes. Yeah, guys, this was episode on the More Sibyl Podcast. My other co-host couldn't be here today due to some unforeseen circumstances, but we hope you picked 1 or 2 things from this episode. And there's plenty more where that came from. So check out the website, www.moresybyl.com. or wherever you get your podcast. This is Mo and...
Ola Bimpe.
Out. Bye. Oshe go.
Love you, girl.
Love you. Everyone say bye-bye.
She said no. I don't blame you, girl.
Everyone say bye-bye.
She said I was gone. Now.
Everyone say bye-bye.
No.